Welcome to Liner Notes with Ben-Jamin. My name's Ed Mann, your host, and we're going to be talking about various singles that Duane Benjamin's put together through his company, Singing for Bones. This episode will focus on one of the great classics, All Blues.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Good to
see you, babe.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, always.
Tell me a little bit about what brought this tune, obviously made famous by Miles Davis, to you and what you did with it.
It's one of my favorite tunes of all time. And I just wanted to put a little different spin on it. I think in jazz music, like a lot of times, we don't know the history. So I got Scotty Barnhart to play an amazing trumpet solo.
It was incredible.
Yeah, and then Mel Collins, I wrote something special for her on the end of that trumpet solo, where she kind of talks about the history of the record and the times of that at that time, and I think it came out pretty good.
What did you think through when you were working on that idea? Gee, I want to take All Blues and I want to put a groove on this that makes sense for now. What was your thought process behind that?
I think when I write and I arrange, I just do it from the heart.
Yeah.
I just try to be me.
Right.
And then I think about the players that can pull it off. We are blessed to live in LA, where like any flavor of the month, you can just, pick 10 people that can carry it out. And on this particular cut, we had Kevin Axe on bass, and Gordon Peak on drums, and Curtis Bringle was on piano. And so it just materialized. It was on the paper. They got it right away. They understood it. And then the horn players, it's just so many fantastic musicians in LA. I don't know if I'm answering your question exactly.
No, I think you have. The idea of putting a more modern groove on an older tune using people who are playing music that originated really quite a while ago in an idiom that many people feel really hasn't changed all that much. But what I really am impressed with your work, what really impresses me about your work is that you have taken something that many people would say has been codified and not changed that much and turned it into something quite different and unique. Where would a listener fit in on all this? What would a listener take out of that?
Well, first let me address how I approach that. I do play jazz and have written jazz and stuff. I also play a lot of funk and R&B.
Right.
And so that was crucial in the decision of playing this music.
Yeah.
That's just how I write, So again, it was crucial for me to have players that understood both genres.
Yeah.
And I think what the listener will get is like one of the things that some people complain about with jazz, not me and people that study it, but sometimes it's over their head.
Yeah.
So for me, it was important to give that groove, that thing that makes, I don't even know how to describe it, but it affects people and still keep it interesting.
Yeah.
Where a musician won't go, okay, this is, I'm not going to label any music, but we all know there's, listen, I love smooth jazz.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it should be called smooth jazz. I think it should be called, instrumental R&B music or instrumental pop music or whatever. But I wanted to keep jazz in the picture of what I write, but still give it that thing that people can enjoy and feel good and groove to.
Sure, absolutely.
So
I think that's a great challenge with jazz now.
It is.
Because we want to be able to advance our ideas, but we want those ideas to be acceptable to some degree to the people who are going to be listening to these things.
Right.
And those two avenues don't always cross.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you look at some of the later Coltrane stuff,
Right.
people were just not understanding that.
Right.
But he advanced free jazz at the same time.
Absolutely.
He was sort of ahead of his time, essentially.
Yeah.
What you've done is taken, I think, ideas that you grew up with
Right.
In the funk medium, brought it to jazz, and made that something of now, which I'm really impressed with.
Thank you.
Well, that concludes this episode of Liner Notes with Ben-Jamin. You can purchase All Blues online at CD Baby, iTunes, Amazon Music, and Spotify. You can hear this interview and more on DuaneBenjamin.com. That's DUANE, Benjamin.com. And YouTube /Duane Benjamin. If you like what we're doing here, please hit the red subscribe lettering right under the right side of your screen. My name is Ed Mann. I'll see you next time on Liner Notes with Ben-Jamin.
Peace.